Okay, so why do I have these two eggheads on my screen? Well, for years, Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk operated in the same conservative ecosystem with Turning Point USA, the MAGA media circuit, the culture war commentaries they create, and the campus activism they do. So they weren't just best friends, they were strategic allies, and their brands benefit from each other. So um, you guys are able to see that. And what's important because Candace isn't an outsider who's throwing stones, and we've known her critique of Erika Kirk. And what's recently happened now is that Candace has literally positioned herself as an anti-establishment within this conservative world, and she's trying to call out fake moral authority and grifters. And so we know that Erica has become a target of her critiques. And she has not been critiquing Erica quietly, as we all know. Um, and so now we have this audio leak that just came out this past week. And it wasn't just gossip, it was strategic. Candace deliberately wanted to undermine Erica's credibility. I mean, okay. And really question her legitimacy post post her husband's death. Um, And one thing that is happening from this is that Candace is really wanting to hold Erica accountable. She wants to question her power. And obviously, there's been a lot of speculative narratives as well, right? Lots of things about her character, unverified claims that tie to her past missionary work. And so now we're just seeing this all play out. It's insider versus insider. It's about who's going to control the narrative after Charlie Kirk's death, right? But all what's getting really lost in the sauce is not really about Candace Owens being right or Erika Kirk being evil. It's about what happens after death. Have y'all noticed every time something big happens in America, black people somehow, someway end up being the one blamed, targeted, or dead? And nobody asks why? Let's talk about how speculation can turn into harm and why Black communities always pay the price. So basically, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, online speculation was exploding. Some commentators were really trying to figure out how did this happen. And most notably, Candace Owens began suggesting there was more than a lone wolf attack. And there were claims of an insider involvement, some military coordination, even some financial motives for Charlie Kirk's death. None of this has been confirmed by law enforcement. Again, these are all allegations, not findings. But when speculation gets racialized, it stops being just talk. And almost immediately, Black people always become the targets online. I'll kindly remind you of what I'm talking about. You know, those HBCUs that got threatened after Charlie Kirk died, or, online harassment Black folks were facing just for stating their opinion, or maybe racialized narratives that were really blaming Black folks for things. And historically, when we look at that, white institutions always fracture Black bodies, and we always become the scapegoat. And that's the most sensitive part. During that same week of national tension, Trey Reed, a 21-year-old Black student, was found hanging. He was found hanging in a college campus in Mississippi. Officials ruled his death as a suicide. His family disputes that, though, finding that it doesn't just add up, and they definitely requested further investigation. And there's no confirmed evidence tying his death to Charlie Kirk's assassination. But here's what matters. When the internet starts spinning conspiracy theories, real people get hurt. So, why is it when white institutions face internal controversy, Black people suddenly become suspects, symbols, or casualties? Why does speculation travel downward to us? What do we do? Why does it not travel instead upward towards the systems of power? Mm. Reckless speculation is neutral. It's dangerous. There's no confirmed evidence that these events are connected, but what I'm describing is an online rumor and speculation, okay? Not verified fact. But I want people to pay attention to this because it's worth naming carefully. When a black man dies and this name gets folded into a political beef led by a powerful white conservative figure and a pseudo white anti black but black person who is going to be questioning things, right? Timelines matter, and information can feel incomplete, and narratives go real fast. Um, so I just want to encourage people to really speak about Trey Reed in a way that he deserves to be spoken about as a person, and he's not just a footnote in someone else's ideological war. Um, and we need to make sure that we are always asking real questions about empathy and optics, um, and really wanting to slow down and look at primary sources and do not speculate things and let that speculation replace truth. All that to say, rest in power, Trey Reed. And if it is true that you stood up for your sister and her speaking up against something that she felt was right, all you did was protect your sister. And I want people to hear that he was a protector.